Hey guys, so this is part 1 in talking about a self-directed IEP. And so we're going to be talking about different ways that you can participate in your very own meeting, and eventually you could lead your own meeting. But we need to talk about a few vocabulary words first to help us understand, like, what is an IEP, what happens at a meeting, what is in an IEP. So we're going to talk about 3 of those things today. We're going to talk about goals, an IEP, and what a self-directed meeting is. So goals. Goals are what you want to accomplish. You could have a goal in writing, reading, math. Maybe you'll have a goal about working in groups or working with peers. You might have a goal about taking breaks when you're upset or frustrated. You could have a goal with communication or orientation and mobility. You could have a goal about cooking. There's so many different things you can have goals in, and it's important to know what goals are on your IEP so that you know what you need to accomplish and how you're going to accomplish them. So that's goals. Okay, IEP. So an IEP stands for an individualized education plan, which means this is your plan, all of it, okay? So it contains your goals and how you're going to accomplish them, okay? So it's just this big document, and this is just your plan. It has your goals in it. It has your progress and where you're at now. It has maybe a little bit about you in it too. So that is your plan. Okay, and the last thing was the self-directed meeting. So this is kind of the goal. This is the meeting in which students participate and they make choices about their goals and take action to accomplish them. And so self-directed is anywhere from, participating a little bit to, kind of a bigger, like leading the meeting, okay? So this boy right here, he is leading his meeting. This is a self-directed meeting. It is about him, and he is leading it. Okay, so now we're on to one of the ways or one of the steps that you can participate in your own meeting, okay? What you're going to do is state the purpose of the meeting. Every single IEP meeting starts the same way. We need to state why everyone came to the meeting, okay? And here are 3 purposes for most IEP meetings. You might say, the purpose of this meeting is to review goals, state progress towards the goals, and set new goals. And that is stating the purpose. And just by saying that, you are participating in your very own meeting. So when you're stating this purpose, there are 2 things you need to be aware of: your tone of voice and eye contact. So, tone of voice. That is how you sound when you're speaking. An appropriate tone of voice in a meeting is pleasant and loud enough for everyone to hear and is clear. So the way I'm talking right now is an appropriate tone of voice. An inappropriate tone of voice in a meeting could be too soft, could be mumbling, it could be angry, or it could be yelling. So if I started talking like this, that is not an appropriate tone of voice. People might not be able to hear. Or if I was yelling like this, that would be a very uncomfortable meeting to sit in. So it is very important that you have a nice, pleasant, and clear tone of voice when you are stating your purpose and talking in your meeting. Next thing is eye contact. It is important to look at the people that you are talking to, and when someone else is talking, that you look at them. So it would be kind of awkward or weird if I was just kind of looking down and I was like, oh, the purpose of this meeting. No, we need to look at our team, our IEP team, and say, the purpose of this meeting is, and then state your purpose, okay? Okay, so remember those 2 things: tone of voice, eye contact, very important. Okay, and then last thing, I do want to talk about why we're learning about this. We're learning about this because it's important to participate and maybe even lead your own IEP meeting. When you turn 16, you will be required to come to your meetings. And so I think it would be important to know what's going on in your meeting and the goals you're trying to accomplish, just so that you're aware. And after you leave high school, you were aware of, all the supports that were put in place to help you so that you know what supports you need after high school. So that's why we're learning about this. Okay, and that is the end of part 1.